Good evening, I am your host, Jack Remington, of the channel Jack Remington Political Analyst. And yes, a large part of politics is the rule of law, and under the rule of law, the biggest paradigm model that needs to be controlled for all citizenry of this great country or any other country is the rule of law. And so we have a serious problem in this country with crime, with criminals. Not, oh, something happened to me 400 years ago or 200 years ago or 80 years ago. Okay, we have a serious problem in this country, and it's not making things even more unfair for those who work hard to pay taxes. We are getting tired of the model that's been set by our politicians. Okay, and we have a crime problem in this country, folks. Not race problems, not ethnicity problems, ethno-nationalism, not tribal problems, not group problems. We have a criminal problem in this country, and it's about time we take the bull by the horns and solve this crime problem. Why am I on a rampage today? Well, I get up this morning, 5:30 this morning, and the very first email that hits, I get 1,000 or more emails every day. I know 400 are for eBay, my eBay channel, but this one was my very first one. I always look at the first one, and sure enough, it was urgent. And I'm going to read you the title. The title of this video that I'm going to borrow under the Fair Use Act is Victims and Suspects' Families React to Beating of the Elderly Man in Nursing Home. Okay, this is WXYZ TV, Detroit Channel 7. So I'll be playing that clip later on, but I must give you a warning. Viewer discretion is advised. This is extremely disturbing and violent and senseless content.
But first, disturbing video of an elderly man taking punches inside a local nursing home has led to an arrest just hours after the video went viral. Our Grant Herms has more on this very upsetting story. Grant.
It is an upsetting video, and it only came to the attention of police after it was shared online. Dozens of people expressing their outrage and asking the question, how could something like this happen in a place where there was supposed to be supervision? The video is upsetting. It was spread all around social media this morning, but by this afternoon, Detroit police had already made an arrest. The video is hard to watch. A 75-year-old man in a nursing home being punched repeatedly by another patient who appeared to be videoing the beating himself. Local 4 has chosen to blur and stop the image, but the disturbing assault continues for almost another minute until the elderly man begins to bleed. Online, there was outrage, dozens of people saying they were shocked. One woman on Twitter asking, "How can you do this? I feel physically sick." It was initially Ann Arbor police who alerted Detroit police to the videos, which had already been widely shared. The nursing home, Westwood Nursing Home in northwest Detroit, told police today they had not yet seen the video.
What our investigation is revealed so far that the nursing home was unaware of an assault until they saw the video. We're still investigating that aspect.
Detroit police were able to quickly arrest the 20-year-old man who was being held on complaints of some degree of assault and battery. The 75-year-old man is now being treated at a local hospital. Also, a few moments ago, the law firm representing the nursing home sent us a statement saying they are cooperating with the police and that attacker was a temporary resident there on rehab and recovery services, and that they will continue to work with police during their investigation.
Another racially motivated hate crime. So where is the outrage and national coverage? Oh yeah, it's black on white. So the MSM or mainstream media will cover it up to protect their pets as always.
The family of an elderly man beaten in a Detroit nursing home is speaking with 7 Action News this evening. The incident caught on video that quickly caught a lot of attention, with even the president reacting. And 7 Action News reporter Darren Cunningham live on Detroit's west side with the family's message to the suspect. Darren.
Yes, good evening, Brian. While the suspect is in custody, the victim is in the hospital here behind me at Sinai Grace. I spoke with the victim's nephew, who gave a good prognosis. However, he says this is only the beginning.
Our uncle is doing better, much better, and he will be released. The catch-22 is, will he be released back to this facility, which is not acceptable.
Kevin Bledsoe says his uncle, 75-year-old Norman Bledsoe, is a retired Detroit police detective. The man beaten last week at Westwood Nursing Center by a fellow resident, a 20-year-old suspect in the video that went viral.
Who took the video? This wasn't just done by one person.
Bledsoe feels the facility dropped the ball. The suspect's father telling 7 Action News his son has mental health issues and that he was moved to Westwood because he also has COVID-19.
I have not heard that. And neither here nor there. Now, if my uncle is subject to COVID, and now if he has COVID, that's a whole nother different situation that we're going to have to deal with.
As the Bledsoes take legal action and police investigate, his message to the suspect is short and simple.
We gonna crush you like a grape. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time.
Now, still many questions remain, like did the facility call the police, and why was the suspect still there a week later when police arrived on Thursday? That's when he was arrested. Now, 7 Action News did try to get answers to these questions. We reached out to Westwood, and they say that they are conducting their own investigation and that they are cooperating with the police. As for charges, the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office says that charges should be authorized sometime tomorrow, Sunday morning. Live in Detroit on the west side, Darren Cunningham, 7 Action News.
Hopefully Bledsoe tests negative for the virus and recovers quickly. Darren, thank you.
Horror. Black care worker beats elderly white man in shocking video. Here's why the media is silent. If you're waiting to see any superstars break their silence on this horrific attack, I would urge you not to get your hopes up. Even though black on white attacks represent 90% of interracial crime, there is yet to be any trending hashtags created, 2-mile runs coordinated, or any well-known actor or athlete speaking out in regards to black on white incidents. The Twitter handle, Chiquita. I'll never understand why Americans work 40+ hours a week, pay taxes, fight for their country, just for their children to dump them in care homes in old age and subject them to this kind of treatment. The relevant authorities have this information, so I don't mean the police. Twitter, Detroit Police Department. Thank you to everyone for your assistance in bringing the senior home incident to our attention. The @Detroit Police is investigating the situation and an arrest has been made. Thank you again. Hashtag protect and serve, hashtag our community. Hayden was also once seen in a YouTube video stating that, quote, the black race is the chosen race, end quote, as he ranted against white Americans and the history of slavery in America. Take the story of Waukesha Color as another example. A black nurse that punched a 95-year-old white man in the face repeatedly, causing him to lose his right eye. Officers arrested the nurse and charged her with malicious wounding, but she is currently out of jail and roaming freely. It's the patient and his family who are left struggling the most. The 95-year-old is now blind and completely lost his right eye, never to regain sight for his remaining days.
If they did it to him, they would do it to anybody else.
Happening right now at 5, a shocking video just coming to light. 2 nursing home employees caught on camera tormenting a 76-year-old Alzheimer's patient. The video sending shockwaves through Winter Haven tonight.
And right now, police and the state are investigating to see if it's happened to any other patient at Palm Gardens Nursing Home. We want to get right out to our Carson Chambers, who's been taking action to get you the answers you need tonight. Carson?
Jameson, a lot of people stopping by Palm Gardens throughout the day to check on their loved ones. They are upset. They are disturbed. The victim's son tells me he took a small hidden camera, put it inside an alarm clock radio, and then placed it on top of his dad's television in his room. And what it captured put 2 CNAs in jail.
We had noticed a lot of bruising up and down his arms, on his legs.
But a hidden camera tucked away in a Winter Haven nursing home room reveals otherwise. What 76-year-old William Wilson couldn't tell his son because of his disease.
It's pretty disturbing. Just really can't believe somebody would treat an elderly, you know, in his condition and, you know, that way. Really sad.
Two certified nursing assistants, 28-year-old Yashika Jones and 35-year-old Rose Blaze, taunt and hit Wilson as they dress him in bed.
You feel like you've let him down because he depended on us.
And the video gets worse. Blaze kicks him in the leg. Jones, on the right, makes punching motions toward his head, grabs the victim's wrists, forcing him to punch himself.
Go there. Go be with your family member.
The Wilsons don't know how long their father endured the abuse, but pray he understands it won't happen again.
I did tell him that, you know, I am so sorry for what he had to endure here. I said, I had no idea what was happening to you. I know there were people in here being mean to you. They can't be mean to you anymore. They're gone, I promise.
And there are at least two other people you might have noticed on that video who were there at the time of the abuse, witnessed it, but did not report it. I did speak with the Winter Haven police chief today. He tells me this investigation is ongoing and more charges could be coming. Live in Winter Haven, I'm Carson Chambers, ABC Action News.
Carson, thank you. And we've been digging all day to see if anything like this has ever happened at the Palm Gardens nursing home before. So far, all we've been able to find is a few minor complaints made to the state, but nothing on the level of today's arrest. But we're taking action for you tonight with the signs to look out for if you're worried any of your loved ones who are in a nursing home might be in trouble. Some obvious signs include unusual bruising and sudden and unexplained changes in weight. Also, if the staff refuses or delays access to your loved ones or refuses to leave the room during your visit, experts say they may be trying to hide something. Those are just some of the obvious signs of nursing home abuse. For more signs, including some that might not be so obvious, just head to our website at abcactionnews.com.
When you put your loved one in a nursing home, you're entrusting the staff to take care of them, to answer their calls for help. But that didn't happen to 89-year-old James Dempsey, a World War II veteran, father and grandfather from Woodstock. He, like all of us, deserved to live and die with dignity. Instead, video taken from a hidden camera installed by his family shows his calls for help going unanswered. And the nurses laughing when he needs their help the most. The 11 Alive investigators had to fight to get the video from the nursing home operators who tried to appeal its release all the way to the state's highest court. Tonight, 11 Alive's investigator Andy Perotti has the story the nursing home didn't want you to see, and it may make you question how your own loved ones may be being treated.
When Fred Aboud looks across the street, he feels empty.
Can't ask for a better neighbor.
He's talking about James Dempsey, who died in 2014, a decorated World War II veteran. He was 89 years old. Aboud assumed his neighbor's passing was natural. But hidden camera video obtained by the 11 Alive investigators captured here inside the Northeast Atlanta Health and Rehabilitation Center where Dempsey died tells a different story.
I got a call from the terrace.
This is a deposition with Wanda Knuckles, a nursing supervisor working the night Dempsey died. It's part of a lawsuit Dempsey's family filed against the nursing home. Here she explains what she claims she was doing moments before Dempsey stopped breathing.
From the time you came in, you took over doing chest compressions from Miss Loyce, correct?
Yes.
Until the time the paramedics arrived, were you giving CPR continuously?
Yes.
Those were the answers the nurse provided before she knew hidden camera video existed. Here's what actually happened.
Who just came into the room,
That's
ma'am?
me.
You came into the room at 6:23:10, correct, ma'am?
Yes.
All right. And contrary to the way you testified previously, there's no one doing CPR, is there?
No.
That really wasn't the truth, was it?
Sir, that was an honest mistake.
Do you believe her?
Absolutely not. And she called it an honest mistake. That's not an honest mistake. That's a deliberate thing to say, covering up, you know, a mess.
The video shows Dempsey calling for help at least 6 times before he goes unconscious. Records show Dempsey is found unresponsive at 5:28 a.m. It took almost an hour to call 911. When a nurse does respond, she fails to check any of his vital signs.
If you witnessed this nurse, had you seen this as it was happening, would you have written her up?
Yes.
It doesn't stop there. When the nurses had difficulty getting Dempsey's oxygen machine operational, something struck them as funny.
Man, was there something funny that was happening?
I can't even remember all that, as you can see.
It makes me nauseated.
We showed the video to Elaine Harris, a retired nursing professor and expert in adult critical care.
In 43 years of nursing, I have never seen such disregard for human life in a healthcare setting as what I witnessed.
The nursing home operators declined to be interviewed. Instead, a spokesperson sent this letter to say they are saddened by the events which occurred more than 3 years ago. It goes on to say the facility has new leadership, and a 2017 state inspection found it was deficiency-free.
I mean, it's just something really hard to accept.
A neighbor remembered for his kindness.
To see him die like that,
who died begging for help that came too late.
It's just awful.
All right, and Andy's with us now. How about the nurses? What happened to them?
You know, according to the nursing board, they surrendered their licenses this past September, but that means over the past 3 years, they were working or eligible to work as nurses in the state of Georgia for the past 3 years.
Even after that happened. All right, now, Mr. Dempsey's family set up that camera. What are they saying now about all this?
You know, they are unable to talk right now due to terms of the settlement agreement that they've reached with the nursing home. But I can tell you many months ago when I first reached out to them, they were disturbed and very, very upset about what happened to them.
Yeah, understandably so. You know, a lot of our viewers have been commenting on the story online. The overall sentiment, nursing homes need to be held accountable, and there should be 24 hours of surveillance. Well, earlier tonight, I spoke with attorney Stephen Chance, who specializes in nursing home litigation. And I asked him what the law in the state of Georgia says about putting a hidden camera in a nursing home room.
The law in Georgia is that you cannot conduct video surveillance in a private place without the consent of everyone who's being observed. There's an exception to that law that I'll call the home security law. One can make the argument that this is the residence of the nursing home patient, and therefore they have the benefit of that home security exception. But it gets complicated because if the caregiver also has a reasonable expectation of privacy in that place, then they could invoke the statute.
Yeah, that's really in the gray area, right? So what, did anything happen to the Dempseys for putting that camera in there?
No, not as far as I know, but I can tell you while the law is not clear, it is very clear that we would never have known what happened to Mr. Dempsey without that video.
Without the video, absolutely. Well, Andy, thanks so much. I know you're going to stay on top of the story. Any new developments, let us know.
You got it.
Stand up.
Who else is coming up here?
Everybody else is here.
Huh?
Everybody else is here.
I'm not going to bed. Are you crazy?
Yes, I am crazy.
Yeah, right.
Outside of interracial attacks occurring in nursing homes, the vast majority of interracial attacks in general in the United States are committed by black perpetrators. Let's take a look at the breakdown. The Bureau of Justice Statistics released a survey of criminal victimization. According to the study, there were 593,598 interracial violent victimizations between blacks and whites last year, including white on black and black on white attacks. Blacks committed 537 204 of those interracial felonies, or 90%, and whites committed 56,394 of them, or less than 10%. That ratio is becoming more skewed despite the Democratic claim of Trump-inspired white violence. In 2012-13, blacks committed 85% of all interracial victimizations between blacks and whites. Whites committed 15%. From 2015 to 2018, the total number of white victims and the incidence of white victimization have grown as well. Blacks are also overrepresented among perpetrators of hate crimes by 50%, according to the most recent Justice Department data from 2017. Whites are underrepresented by 24%. This is particularly true for anti-gay and anti-Semitic hate crimes. Over 90% of the hate crimes on Jewish Americans in New York are perpetrated by black Americans, and almost all the anti-Asian attacks that have occurred since the outbreak of the coronavirus have also been perpetrated by black Americans. Imagine if this was a white guy drop-kicking an Asian woman. We have been hearing a lot about the anti-Asian attacks amid the outbreak of COVID-19 in the United States. Some media outlets have blamed President Trump's rhetoric, claiming without evidence that the rise in anti-Asian based biased incidents is fueled by President Trump, referring to the COVID-19 as the, quote, Chinese virus, end quote. Outside of the fact that almost every media outlets also use this label to describe the virus on numerous occasions, recent numbers show that the perpetrators of these recent attacks aren't likely even Trump supporters. Most of the attackers probably haven't even voted in their lives at all. I have not edited this yet. I'm filming today. I've got a couple screenshots. Our house is being caulked, painted, renovated, you name it, because we're redoing some things in our house, and we're doing a refinance. We're looking at a lot of options right now. I know on other videos I've talked about leaving California, but I like it here. I like our place. We worked hard for this place, and we're going to try to stay for a little while. So we're gonna do some things right, and anyway, that's not part of the video. What happened in this Michigan nursing home has opened another can of worms of underlying problems in this country. I only care about America. Okay, I understand Canada's our neighbor, and we have other allies in Britain and Israel and this and that, but they got to take care of themselves. We got to take care of America, us, we the people, we the Americans. Okay, we have a crime problem in this country, and you'll be hearing me saying that more and more. And I'm going to have trouble with YouTube. YouTube keeps giving me warnings for advertiser unfriendly content. I showed 2 Trump rallies in 2016, or was it 2015? 2 Donald Trump rallies in Ventura. And the one 13-minute long video where it's got the Hispanic guys driving by giving everybody the middle finger, that one was okay. But the 2-minute video with just people just saying, this is a Donald Trump rally, I got flagged for that and I had to take the video down for 30 days. Later on in this video, you'll see more comments from some of the viewers about the great YouTube community standards of being either in effect or just non-existent with certain content. So let's get right to it. Okay, now we're going to take a look at the entity's YouTube channel, Pranks and Dares, The Animal Ferrari. His other YouTube channel called Jason Hayden, his name, was been deleted. It's probably used for evidence for the police. He's got 334 subscribers, 195,000 views. He's been on for almost 4 years. It'll be 4 years and 3 weeks. And the discussion is very telling. Most YouTube channels have no discussion. But the comment beneath, Sir Evelyn D. Rochelle, good to know that elder abuse doesn't violate YouTube community standards. I think that's pretty telling. So now I'm going to read this part here. By Yin Yang Dynasty, he posts, I'm sure somewhere in one of the many penitentiaries across this country, an inmate who won't see the light of day for many decades is waiting for his mother to come visit him. It breaks his heart every time he sees her, and she's slightly older. He sees her getting weaker, frailer, and he hears about every visit to the doctor. He knows one day some prison guard is going to bring him the news that his mother's gone, and if he's lucky, they'll lead him in shackles to her casket to say goodbye one final time. He knows he's been a lousy son, and he spends every day hating himself for not being there to take care of her. then he's going to see you, and all that pent-up rage is going to explode. If you're lucky enough to where he only beat you to a pulp, I want you to realize one thing. There are a lot of men like him. There are a lot of incarcerated men who have elderly mothers and grandmothers who raised them. Those elderly, they will never see again. They will see you and think, quote, this sniveling piece of XYZ would have gladly done it to my mother, end of quote. Welcome to hell. Enjoy your stay. He only had 2 playlists, which is I thought was a little strange. But he was a prolific video uploader. I mean, he's got dozens and dozens of videos up that he's done for 3.5, almost 4 years. You can see he's got Beyonce's a transvestigation. He's making fun of Beyonce, makes fun of Pretty Women Rihanna. He's beating up this one, porn transvestigation, knockout, pranks. He makes fun of people. He knocks somebody out, walk up to your girl, revengeful buddy, pimping, push-ups, eat puke, knock on door prank, got away with burglary, Mike Tyson, punch Jesus, bloody slugfest, sparring Lysol. He's got sparring Lysol and teacher face prank with spraying. He's probably in the title he's got spray, but in his description he's got sparring. So he's not too proficient in English apparently. Lil Wayne, Deshaun Watson is my punching bag. He's a football player. Asking doctor on a date. He's really bold. He's pretty bold. Getting punched makes him laugh. Granddad slaps kids. Slugfest video. Fight reaction ever. How to get famous on YouTube. 100% proof that YouTube is racist 2020. He's got a second video right after that. It's only 5 seconds. I don't know how you could prove something in 5 seconds, but he's got it up there. Pranks. I make N-word. Argue with the dentist. How to make money on YouTube tutorial 2020. This guy. You think I'll do anything he suggests? What are you smoking out there? Sling movie. WWE movie. What else he's got here? Shootout with cop. Real life. Something. Drugging. People prank. If the police gets, if he's poisoning people or putting a date rape drug in some girl's drink, that's going to get him locked up. Catching police car on fire, knockout prank there. Jay-Z pimping already. Talked about pimping again. Drug bust. Ate his pizza. I saw that he beat up some kid and took his bike. Sneaking. He's got sneaking info strip club. He means to put sneaking into his strip club. So he's 20 years old. He might have done it when he's underage, so who knows? Let's see.
And all my niggas fuck the wall. Upgrade your sound.
So now I found this video this morning right away, instantly on the YouTube search. And that title of that one is called Nursing Home Resident Details Nightmarish Conditions. This is from Buffalo, New York. And it's from February 28th, 2018. After watching these horror stories on YouTube and listening to, I emailed my friend, someone got back to me right away this morning on this 3-day holiday weekend, Memorial Day weekend, and during the shutdown, things were opening up. California's got these stages, and Governor Gavin Newsom's had a change of heart since his, 56% of our residents are going to die of this COVID-19 crisis and disease that he spoke of. It was March 14th, and I'll have that video up sometime in a different video. And he got a complete pass for that. It's Nancy Pelosi's nephew. What would you expect? He's a Democrat like Nancy Pelosi. What would you expect, folks? What would you expect anything from a pig-butted grunt? Okay, they're not going to change, but that's not the purpose of this video. I was so outraged at 5:30 in the morning. I had to go back to bed. I told my wife I had to go back to bed because I couldn't process this. What I saw in that video. That 20-year-old man beating a 75-year-old nursing home patient. He was completely defenseless. It's the same as hitting an infant baby, a week-old baby. It's barbaric. It is not necessary. It is unacceptable, folks. It is unacceptable. I don't want to hear the excuse that, oh, he was poor, grew up poor, his parents raised him. I don't want to hear that. That is not an excuse. It is not acceptable. We must change. We must fight back and take back our country. And we're going to start with the nursing homes. We're going to start with everything else. You want to talk about community outreaching? I'm going to do some of my own. I don't know where I'll find the time. I'll borrow some time from God. I'll figure out a way. This has got to stop, okay? And that 20-year-old kid, he is going to be in for a rude awakening when he gets put in prison, because those people in those prisons, they all have mothers and grandmothers and fathers and grandfathers and uncles that are old like that. And they're going to think, you know what? This humanoid wasting our oxygen. I call them oxygen wasters. They're wasting our good oxygen that decent people and decent animals need to breathe. They're wasting our good oxygen. Okay, that's all they're good for. They're not good for anything else. They cannot be rehabilitated. I don't believe in that. I believe in locking them away for life. That's it. Or worse. They're done. There's no redeeming anything of this barbaric quality. This barbaric tendency, that's what they are. It's innate. They cannot stop it. They cannot change it. They're done. They're finished. Forget about them. Forget about it. Forget about it. They're done. Finito. Fini. Gone. They cannot be helped. They must be contained and controlled. That's it. Okay? I know there'll be some outrage from me saying this, but you know what? Bring it on, baby. Bring me your outrage. Bring it to me. Because I'm going to stand up. People got to start standing up for their country. They got to start standing up for their rights. And you know what? If that was my parent or my father-in-law or my mother-in-law or anyone like that, there'd be some serious problems. I'd be flying up to Detroit police station right now waiting for a chance for me to get at that punk. And I'm a senior citizen. I don't care. This is an outrage. This should never happen. And now I'm starting to find out, and it's finally dawned. I mean, I'm trying not to accept these bad things, but it's finally dawned on me that this has been a problem in this country for about 50, 60 years. And it all starts with the prices getting out of whack in 1970, but the wages stayed the same or decreased. That's where a lot of it starts at. So yes, the government is indirectly responsible. I'm not blaming Richard Nixon. I'm not blaming the other presidents in the past and the other Congresses, but they should have seen this coming and could have stopped it. Okay, and that way they got to have higher paid workers and better trained and invest in the workers instead of just taking Jane Doe or John Doe off the street, paying minimum wage, and here, go get them, go clean up the crap. I'm sure it's a challenging place to work in. I used to work in hospitals part-time on weekends. I did it for over 30 years. I was a licensed phlebotomist, licensed lab tech, going around taking blood and sampling blood and bleeding times, things of that nature. Or you can only do venous blood. If you need arterial blood, only a physician or a nurse practitioner could do that because they keep bleeding. You can't stop it. Okay, and the arterial right on the other side of your arm and your femoral and your legs, only a physician could do that because you're dealing with someone's life there. But I'm here to tell you, it's very challenging in the hospital. You have patients that are unruly and they're losing their mind. And we had a psych ward. We had psych wards. We had psych wards and what they call the ADCO, the Alcohol Drug Rehab Companies, rehabilitate certain patients. And the fifth floor would be the hardcore mental patients. And you had to have a punch code to get through the elevator. No one knew the code. They changed it all the time. So they kept it contained on the fifth floor. Fourth floor would be the heroin addicts. Third floor would be the meth addicts, and what's called China White in the 1980s. And the second floor would have they would have the alcoholics. The first floor would have your sex addicts and your maniacs and stuff, things of that nature. Your they call them sex offenders in the late 1980s. Sometimes they could be really out of line, but that's what you have orderlies for. And every orderly we ever had, they had to have a physical weight and height requirement because the battle's usually over if they could look at the big goon and say, well, I don't have a chance here. And then that stops 99% of it. But every once in a while you get some crazy. We understand it as a challenging situation, but these are senior citizens. They cannot be that challenging. You say, it's time to sit in the bed. It's time to lay down, put the blanket. I mean, we've all had to take care of ill relatives in our lives. Every one of us has had to do this at some point in our lives. I did it too. My wife's done it I don't know how many times. It can be very challenging, but there's never an excuse for abuse. And any abuse, one instance of abuse is unacceptable. Do you hear me, America? Not one instance of abuse is acceptable. And I'm telling you, I've had it with these people. Nancy Pelosi, there are little angels. You know what, Nancy? I'm going to put them in your house and lock you all in there under a corona-type virus. I'm going to call it a mental health crisis. I'm going to decide who gets to get locked in your mansion with these people. And boy, I would love to have a webcam set up and have these people chase her all off. Well, it's got 39 rooms in her mansion, whatever it is, or is it more? Unacceptable, folks. America, stand up. Stand up, America. Stand up. Go check on your loved ones in the nursing homes tomorrow. Go, matter of fact, go today. See, I'm fortunate. I don't have anybody there right now, but we did for a while. We've off and on we've had to have people in there that couldn't care for themselves. We have to go to work, okay, and it's expensive. And you would think with the money that you spend for that, they would get top-notch care. But I'm starting to see that they have not. This is unacceptable, America. Unacceptable. Fight back. Get on that phone and you tell that congressperson, you tell your district, your House representative person, a piece of your ear. You say, hey, what's that crazy old guy on YouTube talking about? Ask the questions. You need any help? Detail me through the message board, and I'll help you get started. You'll be seeing me on Craigslist, which is free. You'll be seeing me doing some certain little things. I'm going to borrow time I'm going to make a prayer to God that I can somehow find more time, and I will. I'm going to do it because this is unacceptable, folks. This is unacceptable. And if you disagree with that, then you know what? You're the problem, and stay away from me and stay away from my relatives. And when I get old, I'm not going into a nursing home. I'm going to sit in the corner and just watch TV or read a book or a magazine or whatever, and I'm just going to sit there. I'm not going to interact with anybody because I'm afraid of the abuse that may befall me when I can't defend myself. This is a nightmare. This is the American nightmare. The American nightmare, folks. Stop being so nice to these people. Oh, Nancy Pelosi doesn't really mean it. She's praised for the president. She does not pray for the president. She prays for herself. Her own daughter threw her under the bus with that OPED that Nancy Pelosi would cut your throat and not one. She would be so efficient, not one drop of blood would be falling as your head fell to the ground. What's that tell you? Her own daughter says that. Okay, and these Democrats have watered down all the laws, watered down all the health care, watered everything up. Because they don't want to pay for health care. They want it for free, like Bernie Sanders. Okay, another clown that needs to be silenced forever. I'm here to tell you, folks, this is unacceptable. I don't know how you people can get up in the morning and face yourselves in the mirror when you brush your teeth and comb your hair and put your makeup on. I don't know how do you do it. You sleep like babies at night and get up the next day. What can we do to destroy America again? That's what's going on with the Democrat Party. I blame the Democrats for all this. I blame them. They're the ones that propping these people up, how great they are, okay, how they're being oppressed by me, okay, by me. My father was first-generation Italian-American. He was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. His father came over in 1888. They didn't have slaves in Italy, okay. My father's people didn't have slaves. My mother is over half American Indian, Cherokee Indian, okay. They never had slaves. They were enslaved, okay. Don't talk to me and blame me for what happened to you and your people 400 years ago or 300 years ago or 200 years ago or just before the Civil War. My people fought on my mother's side. My people fought on the side to free the people. It has nothing to do with anything. That was 130 years ago. It's been settled law. Done. Don't want to hear it no more. Done. Done. Unacceptable, Americans. Unacceptable. If you're half as outrageous as I am, you will do something about it. Get on YouTube, make your own video, and tell the world that this is unacceptable. Make your own. I'm challenging you right now. Just that popped in my head. Make your own video. Compete against me on YouTube. Say, hey, he's right. Or don't even say I'm right. Just say, I heard about this. This is a good idea. That way you won't be giving me credit. Don't give me credit for this. I challenge you. You make your own video. Say, hey, the nursing home abuse must come to a stop. This is unacceptable. Congress has got to do something about it. Do something about it fast. I don't want to hear this. Well, we have lawyers and we got insurance. Oh, no. And they're trying to settle with the lady in Buffalo. No. And this COVID-19 people, we're going to put them in nursing homes? Really? Whose idea was that? Oh, let me guess. It's all Democrat governors so far from the information I've gathered so far. All of these people saying put them in a nursing home with all elderly patients that are on their last legs, okay? They're all Democrat governors that are doing this. I haven't heard of not one Republican yet. There may be one or two out there, but the ones I'm hearing about are all Democrats. They hate America. The Democrats, they hate America, and they hate you for trying to defend your country. They hate you for telling the truth, and they hate themselves, but they hate you more. Okay, they hate you more because you're trying to get them not to hate themselves, try to get them to work within the parameters of our country. Why have a country if you're not going to be a good citizen? See, that's not how they can get in power. They know they got the numbers, they got the population. Okay, they know they got bringing in people that don't care about our country. They just want to benefit. Okay, and now I'm going to quote a Democrat that my parents were insanely in total admiration for, and it's well deserved. Even though I'm a hardcore right wing, lock everybody up Republican, this one guy was right. And I'm going to give the quote first, and then I'll fill in the blank. Okay, and that quote is, Ask not what your country can do for you, but what can you do for your country. So for those of you who can't guess who that was the late, great John Fitzgerald Kennedy. Okay, I believe he was president number 35. He was the last of what they call the JFK Democrats, and he was a good man. The media destroyed him too. The media was hedging its bets, okay, against John F. Kennedy because they had this thing that, well, we don't want anybody getting too much power. We don't want anybody becoming a king. We don't want anybody being able to decide. You know what? Every country, every nation, every tribe, every warlord gang members in Somalia, Mozambique, they all have one person that has the final say. And it's been that way since the beginning of time, and it's going to be that way to the end of time. They've tried to legislate it where they have checks and balances, and that's why the Constitution is so great in this country. But what do they do when they can't get in power? They ignore the Constitution. I got to change the battery pack. I got to go, folks. So I'll be back. Don't worry. This is an outrage. Make your own YouTube video. Call your state legislatures, your county commissioners. Call everybody. Email them. Fuck the hell out of them. And next week I'll have some samples of what I've done. I'm gonna have a video. I'll back up what I say, and that's why. And that gets me in trouble too. I'm gonna call every name in the book. I'm not even gonna repeat them here, okay? Because I will stand up, and I'm not afraid. Okay. Right now I'm so mad I don't care. And YouTube may kick me off, but I have a BitChute channel, and I'll have all that information in the description below in case you want to follow me and see what happens with this. And I know YouTube's gonna come after me. They're gonna let me have it. So, thank you, and we'll be back. Have a good day.